Well, we waited until we had a little bit more information about what is appearing to be a massive cyber attack against the infrastructure of the United States of America. I know that there was some official reports coming out saying that maybe this was just part of the storm, the solar storm. We did have 2 X-series events happen and we had a wave cross the United States of America. But let me tell you, those things only affect electronics and communications when they're on a certain side of our planet. That didn't happen. What we had was absolutely a trial run of either China, Russia, or some of those in the conspiracy world would say the United States government pushing an electronics and an infrastructure failure across the USA. We had people far and wide calling us, messaging us in our friend circle and the family circle, saying, I have an SOS on my phone. As soon as it came back, they said, what was I supposed to do? What could I have done? And they got very afraid and they said, what can I do now? And I said, you know what? That's why you're a prepared individual. For me, it wasn't anything. I just waited. And that's exactly what you're going to do if you're prepared during an emergency. You're going to employ a watch and wait timeline. How long does that trigger something else to happen? That's up to your individual preparedness. But let's look at the facts here. The WEF, the World Economic Forum, they predicted a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next 24-month period. That was back in 2023. We had a friend ask us once everything came back online, who was doing this? Why would they do this? And what could they expect next? And let me tell you, if this did have anything to do with China, we just had the FBI come out and say that China was deep inside of our infrastructure. They've been there for 5 years. So let me tell you, they either let them in or they knew they were there for 4.5 years, 4.75 years. If it was China and this was a trial run, then there are some whispers and some rumors going around that China already initiated a takeover of Taiwan. They're doing it through diplomatic channels and political channels first, and then when those fail, they already have the procedures in place to go ahead and take over Taiwan militarily. This will have been about the 5th day since this started, so if that happened, this might just be a test. Let's make sure that we can knock out the United States of America. It's very coincidental that this happened in line with a warning that Russia was going to be sending communications killing weapons into space. Now we have all of the stars lining up. What doesn't make sense is why they stopped. So we're just waiting to see this start again. Yesterday, cell phone networks across the USA went down. Phones were stuck in SOS mode. It left panicked customers fearing that this was, quote, the end of the world. Concerned individuals across the USA are faced major disruptions to all service providers. The outage sparked warnings from police departments. We did see 911 services go down. People weren't able to text or to call 911. There were, of course, some deaths attributed to this because if you had a heart attack or you had an emergency right then and there and you couldn't get a hold of emergency services, sometimes seconds really matter. According to Down Center, it was across the board. Cricket, AT&T, FirstNet, Verizon, T-Mobile, Boost Mobile, Consumer Cellular, Straight Talk, they were all down. People, once they came back online or they had other access to the internet, they took to X, which as you know was Twitter. They voiced their concern saying, is this the big one? Let me tell you, this was just a test. But the amount of people that freaked out over this and didn't know what to do really should show you that we are not prepared as a society, and there will be massive chaos in the streets. There's going to be people who don't know where to go, what to do. The next time when it happens, and we did have some senators across the USA come out and say exactly this, that when it is the big one, you're not going to have your bank account. You're not going to have access to a gas pump. You won't have a cell phone to call your family and make sure that they are safe. You won't be able to call 911 to tell them someone's trying to break into your house because they saw a gun sticker on the back of your bumper and now they're trying to come for it because they know it's coming. You won't be able to get help from anyone. So a lot of people are rightfully scared. They continue to be scared right now as they look at their situation and know that they would have been screwed if things wouldn't have changed. So we had people ask, is anyone experiencing an SOS-only outage? Is the world ending? Other people, and get this, I really want you to hear this, said, okay, conspiracy theorists and smart people, notice the diversion, people who know more than me, what was behind this? Another person said, AI bots are failing. It's happening, folks. Wait, we pay too much, they said, MF money, not to have service for several hours. Los Angeles, Dallas, San Diego, Houston. It just goes on. Chicago, Atlanta, Honolulu. Verizon users in Philadelphia, Brooklyn, New York, Dallas. This was nationwide. Absolutely nationwide. Pharmacies unable to prescribe the medications or give out the prescriptions that the doctors had called in. In fact, even here in our rural area where our homestead is, we reached out to a waste disposal company. They said we haven't been able to get into our system for the last 12 hours. They were getting hit. So it's really going to hit everyone across the board. It's going to hit the people who are bringing dumpsters out. It's going to hit construction companies. It's going to hit your cell phones. It's going to hit the fire department, the EMS, gas stations, grocery, everywhere. Media started posting what to do if you're in a certain area and you've been hit by an outage. The core concern, they say, is emergency services, because if you can't call, you might die. They said there are a few options. You can try a landline if you have one. Now notice how they've gotten rid of those, but how stable those connections would have been. In different counties, you can use text to 911. But again, if you don't have cell service, you don't have it. So even though you might have cell service, 911 might rely on a carrier and they don't have it. One piece of good news, they say, is that there were no indications that Washington, D.C. was affected. Now let's move forward a little bit. There's still a lot going on with this general story. Pharmacies all over the country continue to experience delays in prescription orders. They say this was the largest attack of this type that they have ever seen. Change Healthcare noticed a cybersecurity issue that affected its networks. It came as major outages were called in by pharmacies across the United States of America. Some people are saying maybe it was just human error. Isn't it nice how those coincidences happen just like that? Maybe it's the solar storm. Maybe it's human error. No, I can tell you exactly what it was. You know exactly what it was. This was a trial run. A post from the 22nd Medical Group, a medical center based around an Air Force base in Kansas, said, "We are also experiencing a pharmacy outage. We understand this inconvenience. We will work diligently to resolve it. Our team is working to restore complete pharmacy services." Guys, we have absolutely dug our own grave with our reliance on technology. Now, the reported leak just came out. Chinese hacking documents, they say. This supports the FBI's warning on how compromised the entire USA is. Now, is it China? I don't know. You and me aren't going to be able to tell the difference. How do we know whether it's a guy in the back of Washington doing something or saying, "You got to go," or it's a guy in China saying, "You got to go," or it's a guy in Russia saying, "Go ahead, start it now"? We have no idea. All we can watch is the fallout from what happens. But here's our national media and here's our government saying that this leak shows Chinese hacking documents supports the FBI warning that the USA is severely compromised. Almost 600 documents are from a Chinese state-backed hacking group. They were posted online. They target 20 countries in different territories. Now, this is the Washington Post. Other news organizations picked it up. Officials issued repeated warnings saying more is coming. This trove of documents has given the world a glimpse of how widespread and how effective China's hacking operations are. This 600 documents posted to the development platform GitHub appears to show the hacking activity across multiple countries coming from iSoon, which the organizations identified as a private security contractor that is directly funded by the Chinese Ministry of Public Security. They say, "We have every reason to believe this is the authentic data of a contractor supporting global and domestic cyber espionage and terrorism out of China." These are quoted cybersecurity experts saying these things. Now, a little flashback. We did have the FBI just recently say that massive cyber attacks were coming on the U.S. infrastructure. Now, let me tell you, they knew for a long time. If it wasn't them doing it, they knew for a very, very long time. The FBI said that they have defined a national security threat, Volt Typhoon, the name given to the Chinese hacking network that was revealed to be lying dormant inside of the U.S. critical infrastructure. They say they have pre-positioned malware. It can be triggered at any moment in time. This is just the tip of an iceberg. They said that these efforts by China are just one of many as the Russian opposition continues to push against Ukraine. Now, why they're tying these two things together, let me tell you why. This is a disruption to the order of the world. And let me tell you what that means. The United States of America was the biggest dog. It had the biggest muscles. It had the best guys behind it, the best gang leaders, the best gang behind them. And now they don't. And now China and Russia are over here building a gang, being bigger dogs, getting new technology, getting ready for the big one. They're already switching over currencies. We have countries left and right saying F the USD, just getting rid of, we might as well just start calling it the fuzzed. F the USD, because these countries are absolutely diminishing the effectiveness of the United States dollar. Look at the sanctions on Russia. What has it done to them? Nothing. Russia doesn't care. Russia just does more. They do more of whatever they want. The United States became an ineffective, whining, I guess some other WOK words, country very quickly. It doesn't mean that it's over. What it means is actually a little bit more concerning, because what it actually means is to hold on to that power. You never want to let go of power. You ever see a rich guy say, I'm just done? I'm just done being rich, or a powerful guy say, you know what, it's your turn. No longer than you've ever seen a dog bow down and say, you know what, it's your turn. Now, what happens in wolves? The wolf that used to be the pack leader gets almost killed or killed so that the next one can raise into power. The gorilla that used to be controlling the group gets killed or almost killed so that the next one can become the most powerful. That's how this is going to play out. The USA is going to either get taken out or almost taken out so that one other country or a group of nations, start thinking the BRICS, or a group of nations comes into power. They'll say they're spreading it out, but we are going to witness in our near future one of the most awe-inspiring changes to the world that we have ever seen. It's going to be, when you say awesome, it doesn't mean great, you know? Awesome just means you're filled with, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. That's what we're going to see. People were asking me and Kelly, they were saying, well, what can I do? Should I worry about nukes? Should I worry about bioweapons? Should I worry about this? Should I get weapons? Should I do this? I said, just be smart. Get everything you need to go camping for 2 weeks. That's enough food, enough water. Get 3 months of medicine. And remember, this is from an individual, groups of people who have never stepped into this life before. Get 3 months of medicine if you're able to. Get ahead of the game, get some food ready, be ready to camp. What would you do if the power went out? How would you camp inside of your house? Make a communications plan. Doing these things will get you even more ready than the rest of the world, because when they're freaking out like you did today, then you'll be able to show them, no, you can chill. It's all right. There's no big deal. We're just going to keep on moving on. So guys, that's what we have here on the situation that took place yesterday. Now, it's still bleeding into today. This is still relevant right now, and it's going to continue to be relevant because they have just shown a tiny bit. You know, in a card game, you show your hand, everybody sees what you've got. They've shown a single card, whoever it is, and we have no idea what is in store for tomorrow, the next couple of weeks, or the rest of 2024. Thank you guys for being here with us. Full Spectrum Survival, only on YouTube. Make sure that you check out other sites for like camping gear. Make sure that you know what you're needing. If you're interested, you can check out patreon.com/Full Spectrum Survival. We do 5 waterproof survival mail-outs every month. If you're looking for antibiotics, contingencymedical.com is the one for you. Use FSS10 for a discount. Nutrientsurvival.com/FSS has meals that are ready to eat. The code FSS15 helps you out there. I get no commission. It's just to help you guys on shipping costs, things like that. But most of all, stock your pantry, get your self-defense tools ready, remain informed, and stay safe. Good luck, everyone.